It's just you see, and even the premier now, it's just they're worried about what people will think and how that's going to affect them in the polls. They don't necessarily care about doing what's actually right. And you got a guy like in El Salvador, Bukele, who's like, I'm just going to arrest 70,000 criminals. You can't do that. The civil rights. You're like, I'm just going to fucking do it anyway.
Fuck them. Fuck them. They're gangsters. They're cartel members. Like, that's the thing. You need, sometimes you have to, sometimes you need to do that. There's sometimes where it's like, it was like this in the army too. Like, there's SOPs, there's rules, there's things we do, there's things we don't do. Like, we don't do this, we do that. But sometimes they're like, don't care. This is what's going to work, and we're getting out of here, and we're going to win, and I'm going to do this because it needs to be done. Like, extraordinary circumstances. Like, the rules are meant for when things are orderly and make sense, and everything's running as it's supposed to. The rules don't when the rules don't matter anymore. When they don't, because your country's run by a fucking cartel. What human rights? People have a right to live in a country not run by cartels, first of all. Yeah. So if you sit in a chair and it's like, all right, you're in command of the country's military and police, we know, fucking crush these people. Well, that's illegal. Not anymore. I said it's not. Murder them, kill them, arrest them. I don't care. Tell them to surrender, or I'm going to kill them all, and I'll starve their people to death in prison if they don't surrender. How's that? You know, what's the counter move? People are going to say wah and hold signs. I don't care. The end of the day, crime's off the street. All these scum are in jail. Now it's one of the safest countries in South America. Yeah. So was it the correct move? Yes, it was. Was it illegal and unconstitutional? All that? Technically, yes. But was it the wrong thing to do? No. It's not that simple. People think everything is black and white all the time, and it isn't. It really isn't. Especially when you're in situations where there's people depending on you and counting on you. They have no idea. They don't know what it's like. I have a tiny fraction of an idea of what it's like from being in the military. And I guess doing a little bit of this, but you know, that's definitely true. Sometimes you gotta, you know, break some eggs to make an omelet or something. if it's what you got to do, right? The trucker convoy, right? Was that a good thing? Should that have happened? Was that necessary? Yes, it was. Was it technically all above? Well, you know, is it mischief? Technically, probably, yeah. Was it all of these other things? Potentially, right? But that doesn't mean it didn't need to happen. You know. Like when the police don't deal with the drug dealers and pedophiles in your small town, and then the townsfolk they happen to disappear and nobody knows what happens. Is that the wrong thing to do, or is that the right? You know, it's welcome to and that's the difference. Like that's big boy time, right? This is making decisions that are serious and with both your eyes open and accepting the consequences of what happens. And the only way you can do that is if I know this is the right thing to do, and if they burn me for it, I don't care. I would do it again.
Well, that's because you're a good man.
I try to be. I don't know if I try though.
Well, yeah, we're not. No one's perfect, and I'm not saying, but
I haven't always been. But you know, it's like, you know, if you're still alive, you can still turn it around. You know, so it's like while I'm still here, I'm very committed to doing that. I'm trying to. I put a lot of effort into getting healthy the last couple of years, because when I was in jail, I was like, they never should put me in here. This is a big mistake. I was doing push-ups and hitting the weights immediately in jail. And I was like, when I get out of here, I am going to go full blown. I'm going like super, you know, I'm going to get everybody in shape. We're going to, you know, all this is over. We're going to get serious now. And, you know, it's, I felt bad. I didn't like it because I was just trying to have fun and, you know, cut loose with people and, you know, give them something to laugh about and have something to look forward to. So we're, you know, drinking beers and doing this stuff. But it's hurting a lot of people, and a lot of people are suffering badly in this country, especially, and it's gotten out of control, like the alcoholism, the drug use. It's just, it's insane. It's completely out of, and I'm like, I'm contributing to this, you know, and I'm not only do I not want to continue contributing to it, I want to actively destroy it now. So I'm going to go the opposite direction, and I'm just going to ditch it all. I've been drunk in 2 years. I haven't, you know, I smoke weed once in a while, but yeah, I'm trying to probably get rid of that too. I think eating that might be bad, and I've been thinking this lately, like there's it's not nearly as destructive as alcohol, certainly, and it has you know, a lot of therapeutic effects, but there's some things to it that has a nasty side to that as well. And just get enough sleep, drink water, take care, get healthy, right? Get healthy, because if you're not healthy, that's what all this is about. We're sick as a people. Our country is sick overall, like, you know, that's so what is the building block of a country is the one citizen, the one man, the one person. It's like a cell in your body. If that cell is sick, well, it's just one. If they're all sick, you're sick. You know, your body is now sick because and they're like, what are you guys even doing? Well, that's one of the guys showed me a video or a picture earlier. I think it's I won't mind Misfit. He goes by online. The guy's lost like 150 pounds. There's a ton of the Silver Lynx guy. He's lost, you know, That's the difference between dying when you're 50 and living to be 80. Like there, right? Like this is what we got to do. So if we're going to fix the country, it has to start at the cellular level, at the individual. You got to look in the mirror and go, it starts with me. I have to be as strong and as good. I can't tell people to do any of this if I'm not doing it. So I got to go out and get ripped now. I got to go. I'm going to the gym 6 days a week. I'm either running or I'm hitting the bag or I'm lifting weights. And I'm trying not to eat bread. I'm just going for it, man. I'm 38 and I'm like, soon I'm going to be outside the window of being able to really physically, basically once you hit like your late 40s, it's really hard. It starts to get hard if you're not already in shape. I don't know, I'm not there yet, but I'm 38 and I know I'm not 28. Like you start to, I don't know how old you are.
Yeah, yeah.
It's certainly once I hit about 34, 35, I'm like, I used to be faster than this, It starts to slow down and I'm like, okay, it's now or never. I don't want to leave this behind as a, fat, bloated, hypocrite. Like, so, and it's working. It's motivating people. And, Alex has gotten in on it. Derek's doing it. Everybody's doing really great. Like Morgan's everybody's getting really healthy and strong. And that way, now the team has become that much stronger. Each person is exponentially stronger. They've got more energy. They've got a more positive attitude. They've got a more ability to deal with stress and push harder and help. Like all of this is like a force multiplier. So the whole community becomes, even if you just had the same amount of people, it's like you have twice as many people because they're that much healthier and stronger. Now you can do even more. So there's people just don't, they poo-poo it and go, oh, you guys even doing? Like, you don't even, that's like, I'm not justifying myself to a 4-year-old. Like, I'm not going to sit down and explain, all right, Mr. Poopy Pants, here's why. Like, I'm not going to justify my life story to a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old because he's not even going to understand it anyway. So I don't care. It's like you can either get in the bus or don't. I don't give a shit, but I'm not stopping to, explain it to you.
My wife and I live directly across the street from our local multiplex, which has a beautiful gym in it. And so we've been there. I've been there 3 days a week. And my wife started on, I've lost, well, actually, I think the numbers on the scale have been the same, but the composition is essentially way different now. My wife just started recently. She was listening to some sort of podcast, and the guy on there said, if you had to run, like the wildfires, we're entering another wildfire season, which, by the way, 2024, so far, all Alberta wildfires have determined to be human cups.
Coming up.
So, exactly.
Coming into arson season. Yeah, right now.
Yeah, right. So they said, could you pick up your kid and run for a mile if you needed to? And she's like, fuck. So she gets on the treadmill, ramps it up onto the 6 height or whatever the incline is, and they have a 35-pound sandbag there, and we have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. They both weigh about the same. And so that's her goal. Is like, I want to be able to run for a mile with a 35-pound sandbag. So that's her litmus now. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. And that's it's like, they'll be like, well, when is that even ever going to happen? Probably, hopefully never. But what will definitely happen is there's going to be a time when you're gassed and you're tired and you're beat down and you don't have the energy to do or deal with whatever, and your kid might need you and you just don't have that extra juice left in the tank versus that version of you would have it in the tank. And now your child has a better life because you put the effort in. That's a huge, that's one of the best reasons in the world. It's like, why? And I think about that all the time. I want my kids to be proud of me when I'm gone. I want them to be able to look back at all these videos, all the stuff I did and be like, man, my dad, he tried, And I feel like that about my dad and his and so on. Like, I have these examples of these men that, they put the effort in. They showed up and they did what they could. Like, I mean, that's, when you recognize that you could try harder and there's somewhere you can push, like, do it. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, man.
Oh, there's Pepsi and the Leafs are on. Like, come on, come on. So, I want to, you try to set a higher example for people. And it was like that in the Army too. A lot of it, that mindset was from the military. That's the best thing I took from that, was that the difference between a winning mindset and a loser's mindset. And I went in there with a loser's mindset and I left with the right one. And it took 15 years of beatings and abuse and failures and disappointments and struggling and suicides and war and all of that stuff to, and then you had to rearrange my brain on the other side of it to and fit back into the world with regular people that, aren't, don't understand how. I had to learn how to talk again to regular people. You can't, to some extent, I've largely just still, I'm kind of, rude and, whatever, but, yeah, you know what I mean? There's a transition period, but.